Hey, in this video, we're going to show you guys a bit of a shortcut to convert percentages to decimals, because hopefully you remember from the previous video, we can express percentages as decimals. And you'll see in an upcoming video why we want to do that. But let's look at how we do it first of all. 14%. I know I can write that as a fraction. It's 14 over 100. And if you're not sure about that, go back and check the previous video. So basically, I can take a percentage, I can put it over 100. They're the same thing. So if I write that as a decimal, in fact, if I had to, I could do that in my calculator if I wasn't sure. I could do 14 divided by 100, I'd get 0.14. So 14% is 0.14. They're the same thing. So let's have a look at a little process for doing that right now. If I was to ask to convert 14% to a decimal, here's the process. I start with my percentage. I put a decimal point at the end of it because every whole number, every integer, has a decimal point at the end. It's just invisible. We don't put it there, but I'm going to put it in because I need to do something with it. We can also put zeros in front of an integer. We call them leading zeros. I can put as many as I want. I want you to put 2. And the reason is we are going to move this decimal point 2 places. So I'm going to take it from here. I'm going to move it 1, 2. I'm going to put it into this spot here because this is what happens when we divide something by 100. We move the decimal point to the left 2 places. And when I do that, I get 0.14. I don't need this leading zero here, so I could write that simply as 0.14, which was our solution from up here from the calculator. Okay, but we did it without the calculator. We did it by simply moving the decimal point. Let's have a look at another example. Convert 3% to a decimal. Let's do the exact same thing. I'm going to start with my 3, and I'm going to put the decimal point, because it's a whole number, at the end here. I'm going to put a couple of leading zeros, and I'm going to move that decimal point 2 places to the left. So it's going to end up between these 2 zeros, and that gives me my answer of 0.03. So 3% is the same thing as 0.03 when you write it as a decimal. Let's do one more. Now this might be a little bit tricky. You think, well, how can you have 120% of something? Well, you can, and in a future video we'll look at what that means. But in this case, let's just follow the exact same process. I'm going to take my 120. It's a whole number, so I'll put my decimal point at the end, and I'll put 2 leading zeros at the front of it. I'm going to take that decimal point and move it 2 places to the left, and it ends up between the 1 and the 2. Okay, I don't need these leading zeros anymore, so I can cross them out, and I'm left with 1.2. So 120% is the same thing as 1.2 or 1.20. Good job, guys. You just converted some percentages to decimals without even using your calculator. Now, if you're doing this in class, here's the moment where I'd like you to pause, copy down these examples into your notebook before we move on to the practice questions, which I'm going to put up in 2 seconds. And there they are. All right, there's a list of practice questions for you guys to have a go at to convert these percentages into decimals. All right, put them neatly into your workbook, and in about another 2 seconds, I'm going to put up the answers. So pause the video here, have a go at your work, and then check your solutions against these answers. All right, there are the solutions. Hopefully you went okay. If not, if there's some mistakes or things that you're not sure about, make sure you grab your teacher, have a chat, and try and figure out what went wrong. All right, good job. Well done.